If we're down on the ground, let's make sure we can get up easily and safely. Hey all, welcome back to my channel. And if we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Vera. I'm a certified personal trainer and flexibility coach. My whole goal is to make sure you are feeling good in your body, no matter your ability. As I was scrolling on social media, I came across a post that really stuck with me, and I know it stuck with a lot of other people too, based on the comments. And it was, how do you get off the ground when you have back tightness, you have maybe knee pain or shin pain, or maybe an injury? And of course, I had to put my 2 cents in, but based off the comments, I really read, I need to know, and I need to know how to safely get off the ground. And of course, I think we all know, as we age, our ability to get off the ground will diminish because our muscles will atrophy, our bone density will become lesser than what it is, our ligaments won't be as strong. So one thing we want to do is to make sure we are constantly strengthening our lower body for things like getting up off the ground so we can stay independent as long as possible. So that's where this video comes in. So it's going to be 2 little parts here. The first part, I'm going to show you how I get off the ground. And I will note, there is no one way to get off the ground, okay? It's just the way I get off the ground normally. It doesn't have to be the way you get off the ground, or how your friend gets off the ground, or how your mom gets off the ground. It's just my way, and we're all going to have different ways of getting up off the ground. And the other note I want to make is that you can utilize props, okay? Whether it be a chair, a couch, a railing, a friend to hold on to help you get up, utilize them. There is no shame in using something to help you get up off the ground at any point, at any stage of your life. Now, we are going to go through a flow after I show you how I get up off the ground. And this flow is directly from the garden, my on-demand library. So this video is a growing strong video, which means we're going to focus on strengthening our body. We're going to go through some exercises to strengthen our lower body to make sure we can get up off the ground with ease and safely. So we are going to use a couple props today. I am going to have a chair nearby, preferably a chair that does not have wheels and does not have arms. If it does have wheels, push it up against something so it's not rolling. And if it does have arms, that's okay. We will make do. Now, the other thing we're going to need is a step. Now, we can use something like a staircase. We can use maybe blocks if we don't have stairs nearby, a stool. I even have this box I could use, something that can support our weight and that we can step up onto. So for that section of the video, I will have chapters involved, so you can just focus on the movements that feel best for your body if you're not up to doing it all, and that's totally fine. We're also going to make sure we have something on the ground. We have space to be on the ground. So that's going to be our yoga mat. We're going to have pillows or cushions to protect our joints, yeah? But I think that's enough of me yapping. Let's get into it. So first off, let me show you how I get up off the ground. And you can try that too if you'd like. But right now, make sure your space is ready, make sure you're hydrated, and let's get into today's video. All right, so let's talk about how we get off the ground. Let's say we're on our backs and we have to get up from here. We have 2 options. Option 1 is bringing one arm up, rolling on to our belly, bringing our hands underneath our armpits, lifting our chest and our hips. Coming in the tabletop, we can walk the knees in a bit, bring our dominant leg forward and come up. Now, of course, it's not always the easiest if we don't have a lot of strength in our lower body. So the other option is, again, starting on my back, I'm going to roll to my side. Now, I will note, coming to the belly or rolling to the side, that's completely up to you which one you prefer to do. If we're rolling to the side, I'm rolling onto my hip, my elbows out in line with my shoulder, bringing my forearm down, pushing into the forearm to lift up. So I'm in a more upright seated position. From here, I'm going to bring, again, this is my dominant leg. I'm bringing it forward, foot to the ground. I'm going to adjust, maybe scooching my hand around so I can twist my hips. So my leg, I'm leaning completely on my left leg, right knee grounded, knee up to the sky, yeah? I'm going to twist my body, put both hands down. I am going to shift my weight onto my shin, scooch it underneath my hips, and pushing into my hands, tuck my back to lift both knees up. I'd come into a wide-legged squat-ish position. I do have a nice bend in both knees. Walking my hands back to my shins, I can walk them up my shins, up my legs to standing. So that's how I get off the ground and normally suggest people to get off the ground from a supine position up to seated, up to standing. Like I mentioned before, it doesn't matter if you do it my way or not. You're going to do it whatever way feels best for you. There's no right way to get up off the ground. And now, I do want to show you if we're using something like a chair or a prop to help us up. Now, in this situation with a prop, I'm using this box here, but it could be a chair, it could be a step, it could be a couch, something to grab onto. Now, if it's something lower, like a step, I would bring my hands behind it, scooch my bum close to, lift myself up. Of course, because this is higher, that requires more upper body strength. So that's going to be dependent. Because it's higher, I am going to instead twist around. And again, maneuvering my hips to the side. I'm going to bring my dominant leg forward. And this time, because the ground is now higher with this prop, I can get more leverage by pushing my chest forward and even onto it to lift up. Bring that foot forward. Bring the other foot forward and come up here. So those are the two ways if I'm using a prop or just without. I just wanted to show those just so we know how I personally do. But like I said before, and before that too, there's no right way to get up off the ground. Whatever works best for you, as long as you're doing it safely and with control. Now, we're going to get into this flow from the garden. Now, couple notes as we're going through this. We want to keep our core strong. Okay, so we can think of that nice inhale. Exhale, think of it zipping up like a little zipper and holding it, but still breathing. Okay, so we're still breathing, but our core is feeling tight. Okay, so we can always think of that inhale. Exhale, think of that zipper being pulled up to keep it strong. All right, so you want to think that in mind as we're doing this, because of course, this actually involves a lot of core strength. And my second note before we get into it, I did mention this before too, but remember, you don't have to do all of the movements I'm about to show you. You can, if you're feeling up to it, amazing, but you don't have to. That's why I have chapters in this video, so you can skip ahead to the movements that really call to you, that you really want to work on. You can also just focus on just doing one of those movements and keeping with it the whole time through, even as I'm showing different versions of that stretch, okay? But I'm going to make sure all my props are out so I am ready to go. Make sure you're hydrated, and I'll meet you back here in 2 seconds. All right, friends. So we're going to start off with some hip circles. So have that soft bend in your knees. Push the hips forward, squeeze those glutes, push to the side, back, other side, smooth it out, go at a pace that feels good for you. We're just going to start warming up the hips so they're ready for the movements to come. Good. When you're ready, your hips are going to be forward and switch directions. Again, you can just aim for forward, side, back, side, or you can smooth it out into those circles. Remember, not only can you go at the pace that feels good for you, but you can go big, small, slow, or fast. Okay, whatever feels good for your hips in this moment. All right, I'm going to find center. We're going to go into some leg swings. So we can have a chair here for balance or something similar if we would like. I'm going to actually do the same leg closer to the chair in this case, just for balance support. Having a soft bend in my standing leg, I'm just going to slowly swing my front leg back and forth. Doesn't matter how high it's going, just making sure the muscles are warming up. Good, just for another 2. 1, good. Bring it down, we switch sides, okay? So if you're using something like a chair or a wall, the leg closest to that is the one that's going to be moving. When you're ready, soft bend in the knee. Again, not worrying too much about how high the leg is going or how fast. We just want to make sure we're warming up those muscles a little bit for what's to come. Good, we go for 3, 2, last one. Bring it down. Again, still with this warm up, I just want to do some high knees, okay? Bring that knee up as high as we can, just a little marching in place. Focus on that knee really driving up. Good. Good, we go for another 2, 1, bring it down. So your heart rate should be a little bit elevated here. We're gonna go right into some step ups. Now, when it comes to step ups, if we have stairs nearby, amazing, we're gonna use those. If we don't, we're gonna use things like cork blocks, a stool, something to give us a little bit of height to work our quads, wake them up a little bit more. Now, I'm going to use blocks right now, but I'm going to show you how to use that box if you want to go a little bit more challenging. So putting these blocks on the ground here. Now, because I'm using blocks which are lower than a traditional stair step, I'm not going to be holding onto anything, but I can if I want to. If we are using something like a traditional stair step or something higher like this box, we do want to hold onto something for safety, yeah? But for this, we're really going to think of our core nice and strong, hands to our hips, step up, step down, okay? And we're leading with the same foot to start. And we're going to do about 5 to 6 of these on just starting with that one leg, and then we will do the opposite, okay? So that's my 5. So I'm going to switch, bringing my other foot up, stepping up, making sure I'm balanced on these if we're not using something like a chair or a stair step. Good. And really paying attention to how does the body feel just doing this? Just taking that step up, pushing up, bringing the other foot up, and coming down. I find a lot of people will find the coming down a little bit more challenging, okay? Which is totally fine. We just want to recognize what it is we want to work on. Good. So I want you to keep doing that if you don't want to go more intense. If you do, let me show you. I'd be using something like a box, something higher than a traditional step, or maybe blocks. So because it's higher, I do want to make sure I have balance. So I'm going to grab these sticks here. I'm going to have them on either side, just like you do with stairs. We do want to hold on to something. And again, I step up and I slowly come down. And again, I'm leading with the same foot to start. And I'm doing again 5 to 6 of these. But maybe you want to stick with where you were at. Totally fine. Keep doing those. You're going to do about 10 of them then. 10 to 12 each side. But if you're going up that little bit more intensity like I am, we switch legs, taking our time. Breathing deeply through it. Good. Once you're done, those final 5 to 6, you can come on out of it, take a quick moment, move that box away because we're done those step ups. So step ups are great to work our quad and our glutes, similar to a lunge, which we will get into. But first, we're going to go over squats. So we're going to go over 3 different types of squats here. We're going to go through half squat, sit to stand squat, and a body weight squat. So if you want to just do one of those the whole time, you can. I'm going to show you starting off with the half squat. We can use a chair for something like balance. I'm not for this one, but our feet are going to be about hip width or a tiny bit wider, so not as wide as shoulder width, okay? I'm going to start with a nice soft bend in my knees. For this one, we can just keep our hands to our hips if they're not to a chair. I'm going to start bending my knees and imagine I'm sitting into a chair. So my chest comes forward just slightly as I sit down, and I'm not going all the way down. So even if I were to sit to a chair, I'm not there yet. The chair is still a bit of a ways away. And I slowly come to stand. Yeah, we can even think of maybe a bar stool. We're so to sit into a bar stool, yeah? So slowly sit that bum back and we come down. I'm holding it a little bit longer than we normally would. You don't have to hold it this long. I do just want to point out we should be feeling our glutes getting tight. Same with our quadriceps, the top of our thighs. And you come up, okay? So this is just a half squat. Squeeze your butt, lift up. Okay, so we're not going all the way down, but we're still strengthening the quads and the glutes, just not to the fullest range of motion, which is fine to do to start us off, yeah? All right, so this is our half squat. Let's move in to our sit to stand squat. So I am gonna, of course, want that chair here because we're gonna be sitting to standing, yeah. All right, so I am scooching myself forward in the chair. I will note if we did end up having a chair with arms, we can use that to push up if we need to. But if we're good, we can have our hands in front of us or to our hips. We're going to lean forward, push our weight into our heels, feel our butt muscles tighten up, our quadricep tighten up to stand. And then we go back down. So we feel those muscles contract again, all the way down to that chair. We can even come upright. And then again, we lean forward, push up. Okay, so this is our sit to stand squat. We can work on this if you'd like. For all of these squats, normally we would aim for 8 to 10 at a time. Obviously, we're going to do a little bit more if we're doing all of these with me today. Good. So that's our sit to stand squat. And of course, I want to show you the body weight squat, which is that classic squat we know. So I do like to have my feet a little bit wider than shoulder width for this one, just to give some space for my hips and belly. But that's going to be up to you if you want to have your feet more hip width or even shoulder width. I just like going that little bit wider. Now, soften the knees just like the sit to stand. We're sitting all the way until we find that imaginary chair and we push up. And when we're pushing up, well, when we're coming down, we're feeling our glutes engaged. Keep your glutes engaged as you push up. You're going to feel your quad lift us up to the sky, yeah? And notice I am leaning forward a bit here, but I don't want to lean forward a lot, okay? Just enough. Find that nice squat pattern in the hips, okay? And we're going to make sure our knees are not buckling in. So we may want to get someone to watch us or look in the mirror. We want to make sure our knees are tracking with our ankles the whole time, okay? So in this case, if we were doing something like a wide squat, a wide-legged squat, our toes pointing out to the corners, which means our knees open out to the corners, okay? I just want to point that out. In this case, they're tracking with the ankles forward, okay? So we want to keep that in mind. All right, let's just do one more for giggles. Good, so those are our squats. We are going to go into lunges next. We do want the chair for this. All right, so I am going to have the chair facing me, and I am going to come down to the ground here. All right, so for this one, of course, we want to make sure our knees are protected, so have something underneath them if there's not yet. But I'm going to step 1 foot forward. I'm going to come into this 90-90 lunge, where both legs are at 90 degrees. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have my hands on the inside of the leg on said chair. What we're going to do is we're going to tuck our back toe, push our weight into the chair, into our hands, lean forward, lift the knee up, and very slowly bring it down. Okay. That's all we're doing. This is just a get up lunge. We lift up and slowly back down. So we're focusing on a little bit of stability in the front leg, strength in the back leg. So again, lift up, slowly come down. Think of that knee floating to the ground. It doesn't have to come fully down to the ground if that doesn't feel good. You can opt for just a really light tap and back up. And I just like to note it again, I am leaning forward, pushing my weight into the chair. So we're not using our full body weight on our legs for this. So we're building that strength up, yeah? All right, let's just do 2 more here. Good. Come on out of it and we switch sides. So I bring that chair opposite side. Again, other knee is forward for the 90-90 lunge. I do have my chair nearby because if it's further, I have to put more pressure on the hip flexor muscles and more pressure into the leg muscles, totally. So close nearby, so I can push in. I lean forward, push in, lift up, slowly bring it down. Maybe I just tap and back up, or I come all the way down, come out to just reset. And again, I don't have to straighten my legs slowly here. We can keep that nice bend in it as we come up. But really lean your weight forward and up. Good. Keep it going. One more. Perfect. Come on out of it. I'm going to come to standing. I'm going to turn this chair around. We're going to work on our classic lunges here. Okay, so I do want to do our classic lunge, and I just want to have it with the chair. So we're not worrying too much about balance, and we have something to support us if we don't feel comfortable going all the way down. So I am pushing against the wall because this is where we're putting the most pressure into it, potentially. So I'm going to have my hands to said chair. I'm going to have 1 foot forward. I'm going to decide which leg, and I'm going to step the other leg back. Now, for this, I am on my toes. My heel is lifted. I'm going to very slowly drop the back knee down, maybe tapping the ground. It doesn't have to, though. It can just kind of hover, lift up. And this is where we can decide, do we need to adjust? How can we? Moving our feet, moving our hands, moving our body weight maybe. And we come down and back up. Yeah. Now, we've already done a lot of leg exercises, so our legs may be feeling tired by now. That's fine. That's normal. We're going just as many as we can, trying to aim for 6. Good. Again, we're thinking of our glutes squeezing, our quads engaged. So it's our stabilizing leg pushing up. Our back leg getting a bit of a stretch. while it strengthens. Good. Come up, and we switch legs. Stepping the other foot back, coming down, and up. Adjust as you need. Remember, as we do this, you can switch back to the lunge get-ups from the ground if you prefer. Good, almost there. 2 more. Perfect. Come on up for a moment, give your legs a little shake. So I do want us to go into a couple stretches before we end off. So since we're here, let's do a high lunge. 1 foot stepping back, heel lifted again. This time we're not bending the back knee at all. We're gonna tuck our tailbone in, bend the front knee a little bit more to find a nice deep stretch through our hip flexors, the muscles connecting our torso to quad. We can keep our hands to the chair for balance if you'd like. We're just holding it and breathing deeply here. Good. I'm going to slowly lift my hips, straighten out the front leg, step it forward, and switch. Okay, so finding that nice long lunge. Again, tailbone curling in, bending the front knee a little bit to find that deep stretch in the back hip. We can lean forward to that chair if we'd like. Good. Slowly lift the hips, straighten that front leg, step forward to come out. Okay, so I move the chair to the side. Let's come down to the ground just for a couple final stretches. We're going to start off here with a 90-90. Now, 90-90 is similar to the 90-90 lunge, where we're in a lot of 90-degree angles. Our front hip, whichever hip that may be, is in line with our femur, and our knee is at that 90 degree. I have my foot flexed, another 90 degree. Back hip is in line with the hip on a lateral sense, knee 90 degrees. I would like to note, if this is a lot for you right now, scooch the legs in, be more of a 45-45. I do have blocks here, and I'm going to use one just to lean into here, but that's up to you. So I am trying to think of both hips grounded to the best of my ability. I'm going to have my hands in front of me or onto the mat in front of me. We're just going to do basically a little bit of a stretch for the hip flexor. We're going to lean forward and come up. What you'll also notice, not only is this good for the hip flexor, but also for the glutes, especially that front glute that we're leading into here. Good. So make sure the legs are unmoving, the hips are trying to stay grounded this whole time. And we're just kind of moving up and down just with our torso hinging to get that stretch. One. Good, come on up. So if you're in the garden, I would be showing you one more move that from this position, which is the shin box get up, but you got to join the garden for that section. We're going to move on to the other leg to do these 90-90s. All right. So again, we're looking for those 90-degree angles or 45, depending on. And we are going to make sure our hips are as square and as rounded as they can be. Torso facing forward. And again, hands in front of us or to the floor to lift up, hinge forward. And get that stretch in the hip flexor and also a little bit of the glute muscles. Good. So we're just really slowing down our heart rate here, getting into that cool down. Good. One more here. Wonderful. Let's swing around, or swing this back leg around really, to come into a nice little seated position. Maybe sitting in a narrow V, crisscross applesauce, butterfly shape, whatever feels good. And you can do this in a chair if you want to. As you saw before on how I was getting up, I was doing a twist. So of course, why not add a twist stretch into this flow? Let's come into our seated twist. So for this, we are going to bring one hand to the outside of the opposite leg or to the inside of the same leg if we don't feel comfortable reaching that far. Other hand comes behind us or to a chair back. Straighten the spine on an inhale. Exhale, slowly twist. Lead with your collarbone. Neck follows last. Breathing deeply here. Slowly come back through center, switching sides. Again, we inhale, straighten out the spine. Exhale, twist. And slowly come back around. Now, if we are on the ground, this is a great time to practice our get-ups, whether it be using a prop, maybe it's practicing getting up from a lunge position, or we get up into that kind of squat forward fold, whatever feels good for you. And that is the end of our class. Let me know in the comments down below, how is your body feeling now? Were there any moves that were really challenging that you want to work on, or movements that you thought were going to be challenging but weren't? I definitely want to hear it, because I know myself, based off the sweat on my forehead and the fatigue in my legs, I am tired, but it was worth it to work on the strength in our lower body so we can stay independent when it comes to getting off the ground. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video if you did. And if you want more, check out The Garden. It's my online membership where you can get flexy and strong with over 150 videos and so much more. So definitely check it out. I'll have it in the pinned comment down below. But I want to make sure you are feeling good. So make sure you stay hydrated. Let me know what type of video you would like to see next. And I will see you on the mat soon again.